Hey, Darren, have you been hearing things like a voice in the back of your head?
Yeah, you two? What exactly are you hearing?
Just rhyming, like poems or a bad street rapper, which is all of them if you ask me, but I don't know what the hell is going on.
I don't know what's happening. I've been hearing rhymes too. Ears, fears, tears, sometimes beers. I think the voice just runs out of things to say sometimes.
Yeah, it's especially noticeable when I'm trying to sleep. That's why I've been cranking my music up to 11. Kill switching gauge really hits just the right spot.
I'm more of an orchestral guy myself. But if you bring the volume up on that, it's not near as enjoyable. But I guess we should talk about the Warhammer Wednesday video.
Yeah, I think the last Chaos faction I've yet to do is, I think, the Death Guard. Though they did change a lot about the Chaos Knights, whose Codex apparently was delayed. But they got the Codex info released on GW's website, which is still very bad. Honestly, I know they've been changing up Knights heavily. It led to some last-minute changes to my competitive list, but it's not important right now. Let's finish up the Chaos lines for this year of Chaos. So, Death Guard. Now, this army rule is about the same. 3 auras chosen before the game begins. An enemy within range of the aura will take a -1 to their toughness and one other thing, depending on which aura it was chosen. This aura gains 3 inches every round, up to 9 inches. This army also can't bring its own daemons unless it's in the daemon detachment. Seriously, I had to double check this, but this goes across all Chaos Space Marine factions. They essentially can't bring their own versions of the Imperial agents, so daemons got even more fucked than the agents did. They're literally only usable in certain detachments now. Now, this aura, with knights literally just getting fucked last week by having their toughness dropped and armigers and war dogs getting their OC shot in the face, and the Death Guard army rule is essentially an anti-knight ability. This is not the side grade that Allspecs Tactics seems to think it is. But now, detachments, 6 of them. One will be the Daemon one, and we ain't touching the 7th Christmas detachment, which I know this was one of the best. First in the list is Virulent Vectorium, with the detachment rule World Blight, which my writing program hates. This gives sticky objectives to all Death Guard units, excluding Battle Shocked, and any enemy unit that's within aura range of that objective marker is within Nurgle's gift aura. This is disgusting. It's essentially like the Demon's Shadow of Chaos rule, but kind of better, as it gives a lot and can reach further. This could theoretically, depending on points values of units in this army, and the objective control scores, lead to the entire board being a plague zone. Stratagems and enhancements are sort of generalist as well. I'll point that out. So this detachment is entirely generalist detachment. It's meant for any and all Death Guard keyword units. Mortarian's Hammer is up next. The detachment rule is Miasmic Bombardment. Select a number of enemy units that are at least 12 inches away from all your army's units, and those are affected by your army rule. The number of enemy units chosen is 1 per 1,000 points in the game, and you can select the targets at the start of every battle round. Now, looking at this, it can easily be ignored by World Eaters, Eldar, and any army with quick units that want to be in close range. So, with knights wanting to be at a distance and custodies being so slow, they can't get that close. Weirdly enough, this is, well, a weird one. The enhancements seem to be built around being as far away from your opponent as possible. So this one is all about ranged combat. Honestly, that's on brand and not bad. Even has an anti-tank enhancement, but this one does build on specific characters. Champions of Contagion is up next. The detachment rule is Manifold Maladies. It lets you change your army rule Plague at the beginning of every battle round for that round. So this is the adaptive detachment, and I can't see this detachment being considered that great. One aura worsens hits, one worsens objective control, and one worsens saves. You'll probably know what you want and stick with it at the beginning of the battle anyway. You'll want to worsen the saves or OCs on the knights. You'll want to worsen the hits on the custodies or the Tau. You'll want to worsen the saves on the World Eaters. OC on Tyranids or Genes, you know what I mean? Enhancements also essentially just let specific characters do some weird shit with the army rule, except for the Plague Surgeon, who can bring back more from the dead, or the Lord of Poxes, which now always has an extra aura active. I mean, that one seems fine, but it's weird that that's an enhancement, not the detachment rule. Taliban Summoners is up next, and that's the Daemon detachment. Half of your army can be Daemons from the specific legion. The aura are 7 inches for these ones instead of the 6 inches like the others. They get extra stink. If Daemons and Death Guard are within 7 inches of each other, the Daemons get the army rule and the Death Guard get 3 inches added to their aura stink. Look, I don't know with these. They seem fine ultimately, but I imagine the increased range for aura may be horrifying. I can't think of what sort of detachments being kept in the next edition, though, for the Daemons. But I won't be surprised if I eat my words in a few years and this is just the thing. Next up, Shamblrot Vectorium. This is the Poxwalkers detachment. Who thought this was a good idea? Poxwalkers gain the battle line keyword, which means you can have 6 units of them, and they come at a max of 20 per unit, meaning 120 Poxwalkers on the field at most. And you know what this detachment does? Add a new unit of Poxwalkers with 10 models at certain battle rounds depending on the size of the army. Rounds 2 and 3 for 1,000 points, those and rounds 4 for 2,000 points, and those and round 5 for 3,000. In a competition, you can bring 150 Poxwalkers on the battlefield. I want to point out that Poxwalkers have an ability that lets them add enemy models to your Poxwalkers units, so theoretically, if you're going up against something like the Genestealer cults with their literal respawning numbers, you could have the entire board filled with Poxwalkers. Holy shit, that is absolutely horrifying, and probably even worse to play if you don't have at least a dozen and a half boxes of Poxwalkers. By the Age of Sigmar versions, they come in boxes of 20 instead of boxes of 10. Deathlord's Chosen is the last detachment. Deadly Vectors is the rule. In your opponent's command phase, roll 2d6 for each afflicted enemy unit, subtracting 1 from the results if it's below half strength. If the result is 6 or less, that enemy suffers a d3 mortal wounds. ouch, especially with my luck. But this Detachments enhancements looks like it's built around Terminators. It seems apparently the Terminators are not killy enough for Games Workshop, so they gave the big tough walking tanks even more cannons. This codex is absolutely brutal. I can see why so many of my local guys are jumping headfirst into the Death Guard. One guy must be very happy with this book. I'm still spiteful of him, but I don't think I'll face him but rarely. Now, would whoever is whispering in my ear shut the fuck up before I throw them through the infinite void?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, what? Shove off!